Welcome to Shorty SuperCoach. What's going on, guys? Really hating these Sunday night fixtures. I was watching the Cats. It was a terrible watch. Just one of those frustrating games where you expect to win by a bit and you don't. You get the job done, cool, but you really don't get much out of it. And I'm recording this one now. I'll just take a look at my side and run through a few things and a couple of bits and pieces I'm thinking of. But I dare say these rankings won't be updated till past 11 o'clock. And I'm not waiting. I'm not waiting around. We'll probably have this one out on Monday. Look, I remember there's been a few Sunday night games that I've waited around for, and it's often close to 11:30. And yeah, we're not gonna wait around too much longer. Look, if it gets up just before 11, maybe, but I think this one's probably coming to you from a Monday night. But we'll take a look at the side. And it was always going to be. I forecast it to be a shocker. I ended up having 18, but yeah, I mean, I'll compare it to some of the other league matches and that type of thing, but the disaster of a week, really. Like, I had a sub-affected 6, Rankin was poor, Warner was poor. Like, it's just, yeah, nightmare week. So 1694, that's got to be a shocker, doesn't it? I mean, look, I ended up bringing in Wanganeen, Miller and Anderson. So Anderson, he came in with immediate impact. He'll get 3 votes in Shorty's MVP. Immediate impact for Noah, which we love to see. But look, Sinclair was really solid. Holmes was very, very good, particularly early. Didn't do much in the last quarter, but 107 is pretty solid. Wanganeen, Miller, a pretty nice score because he missed a fair chunk of the second quarter. Got assessed for a head knock, which I'm sure will be in the news with... I think it was that Johnson fella at Melbourne who probably gets a bit of a suspension for that one. And I was like, no way, I've just bought him in. Don't tell me he's going to get subbed off for like 40 or whatever he was on. But I'll take that. Roberts, 91. He's going solidly. He's pretty reliable. I think I'll eventually upgrade him to someone like a Whitfield. And look, Clark. I went Clark over Gray and... I don't know. Look, I'm also went that because of, I mean, it was a 97, but also I felt like Gray might get his spot taken by some experienced Tigers when and if they do come back, but I'll be annoyed if he did score well. Saw him get a few handy intercepts. Any danger of this loading? Like, for God's sake. Anyway, we'll get to that. Yeah, Anderson, very good. Merritt went to half back, which was weird. Don't know about that. I'm not sure why they did that, but Campbell Gray scoring a 70, so that kind of annoys me, not going to lie. Probably made the wrong call there, but he's only 1 week. Dacos, solid. Didn't use the ball as well as he might normally. And Sarong, look, he's as consistent as anything, but we would like a bit more top-end scoring from Caleb, but he is very consistent. Will Ashcroft was very good. Levi a bit quieter. He got subbed off. And Boxall, I thought at times he looked okay, particularly in the first half, but probably faded. And then we had nothing going on in the rucks. And the forward line is pretty grim, really. Like, we had Bailey Smith, who at one point I thought was going to rack up 50 touches, but actually didn't use the footy too well, but we'll take a 129 just purely on quantity. Nick Martin's a class act. But yeah, Chad Warner and Isaac Rankin played in the same game, but both really poor. And Cleary being the sub, and, you got to field Kako, score one of his highest scores. But yeah, so it's a shocker, and it was always going to be. And unfortunately, I'm getting a feel for it, clearly, yeah, I'll be dropping the ranks. It looks like I'm at least 100 plus points behind par. So, yeah, that'll be no good. But look, in terms of my MVP, let's get that one up. And like I said, I'm going to give Noah Anderson the 3 votes. Comes into my side, clearly the top scorer. Going to give Bailey Smith the 2. Probably dealt him pretty harshly throughout the year because he is a pretty popular pick. So even some of his biggest scores haven't always had him rewarded with the votes. But then I'll give Nick Martin the 1. You could almost argue that Nick could deserve more. He's been in fantastic form. But welcome to the team, Noah Anderson. Instant impact. It's always nice when you bring a guy in and they they deliver straight away. We love that. Nick Martin, feel like he would have got votes the other week. He did, so we'll give him the 1 vote. He gets up to 3, and then Bailey, he'll be moving up here. So he gets the 2, now level with Tom De Koning, second in Shorty's MVP, and Tristan Cherry's going to take some catching there because he's produced some insane form. But look, in terms of trades and that type of thing, like if I'm going through my team, like I've got cash in the bank, we need Zach Butters 1 more game to drop. The way I'm looking at it is Roberts to someone like Whitfield, and then, Shees will come on. So we'll call that a completed back line. The midfield's where I really have to attend to it. Like, you could argue that Will Ashcroft could be a luxury upgrade at some stage. Is he a keeper? I think he can stay in there for a while, but clearly we'll have LDU, who you could argue the case more than him, that he would be the luxury upgrade instead of Ashcroft. But I need to fill these last 2 spots, and the upgrades will be Levi, Ashcroft, and probably Moraes, who might just get to 260, 270. Butters will be one of those upgrades. I'd be half tempted on Tom Green. I quite like him. I don't know what he scored. Hopefully nothing crazy. 115. So that's solid. A lot of clangers. He does love a clanger sometimes. But so he'll drop ever so slightly in price. He might be around 550. But and that's, even an Andy Brayshaw, probably wouldn't mind. That'll just depend on price. Call that a completed midfield. Tom De Koning's an interesting one. Again, I'm not rushing him out of the team because I'm upgrading other things, but we've got to, obviously, Dante Vicentini, all the talk is that he'll get dropped, and then we've got to upgrade one guy in the forward line. So, look, I was originally hoping that Cleary could just hover around 280, but the 6 really kills things. So Horn Francis will be that eventual upgrade, but maybe it'll be Kako. I don't know. Kako just gets to 250, 260 and upgrade to Horn Francis, who'll hopefully be around 400. So that's a rough look at it. And then we'll do what we can with the flex. Maybe that'll be Brayshaw or even someone that drops in price. Like, I might not have the ability to really go those big guys like a Gawn, I might not have the opportunity to. Like, I was a bit torn on whether to go with someone under price like Stewart. Felt like he didn't play that good. Scored 103, not really sure how, and Raul scored well too. Look, he does find a way to intercept Tommy, but I still don't feel like he's at his best, but that's okay. And Max Gawn, felt like it wasn't like a dominant game from Max, but he's probably still found a way to score 130, 110. Yeah, so that's, honestly a 110 from Max will take, at least it'll see him drop in price, but that's a long, long way in the future, even thinking about him. So I've probably got to, upgrade 1 in the back line, 2 in the midfield, 1 in the forward line, and say a flex. So that'll be 5 upgrades in theory, and got 500k in the bank, so I'll be able to do 2 upgrades just with that cash. So then I've got 8 more trades basically to develop the cash to make those other upgrades. So I think we'll be able to complete this team. Obviously, it might cut it fine if we start to cop a few injuries, and I might not get Gawn. I need to get Bontempelli as well. Like, that'd probably be the other plan. I know I spoke about Tom Green and Brayshaw at a slightly better price range, but Bontempelli hopefully falls a bit. He scored 107 last game. It's not dominant, so hopefully he drops ever so slightly in the coming weeks. But I'll finish off this review tomorrow, I reckon. I'll keep an eye on the updates, but most likely talk to you tomorrow night. And upload it on the Monday. But I'll talk to you later. All right, we are back a little bit late. Obviously, the rankings and stuff were updated pretty late on Sunday night, and then I just did not get around to it Monday. I was just had a few things come up, was pretty gassed, and maybe I was hiding from what is inevitably probably a pretty bad ranking. But look, we're getting to it now. I thought I better face the music We'll go live tomorrow night, so we'll go live Wednesday. But yeah, I don't know. It's tough going at the moment. I can only assume, 16.94 and a drop. You don't want to be dropping from 33,000. But look, I recapped the side, but just having a brief look over a bit of an overview of what we've sort of got to do. I mean, Luke Pedler might be one that we consider. I mean, at the moment, mate, I'll take any rookie that's going to bob up and be possible. Like, we've had some good rookies that, we felt like they were going to be good rookies and then just haven't come to fruition. And then, this fella pretty highly touted over the journey and he's come in and scored reasonable. I don't exactly know about his job security, but I think when he posts scores like that, and if he's named, you've certainly got to consider it. So on the bubble, perhaps that could be maybe it's a Cleary. I mean, you're not banking much for that, are you? But honestly, we got to get some funds moving, and it might be someone who's not playing because I might need to just get some scorers going on. But yeah, tough going for sure. Like we briefly touched on the other day, there ain't many wins through here. What did I get? Just the 2 head-to-head wins. Oh God, we're just gonna keep plodding away, just trying to keep going and attempt to save this side. I was optimistic. Some of that optimism is fading, but I've still got faith that this side can be completed with the majority of the players you like. We've had like Butters drop and a few other things, which is nice. But yeah, you just can't help but feel that you're a couple of upgrades behind a lot of teams because I've spent a bit of time correcting other stuff that I got wrong. But anyway, no need to delve too deeply and dwell on it. But let's upload this one and quickly close the book on last week and move on to next week. But let me know your thoughts. Hopefully we'll talk on Wednesday night. Cheers.